Hey guys, what's up? It's Katie and I'm back with another Marvel Contest of Champions video, and thanks to the CCP, I was granted early access to the newest champion spotlight for Storm Pyramid X. Now, like Sorcerer Supreme, Storm Pyramid X is an Mcoc champ, a Marvel Realm of Champions champ, and is the full creation of Kabam. Now, when Kabam creates their own champs, they're usually pretty good, right? Think about it. We got Aegon, Guillotine 2099, Guillotine Morningstar, and some of them even have entered into the comics, such as Guillotine. And so I'm not gonna lie, when Kabam releases their own champs, I get pretty pumped about it because they're usually pretty banging champs. So without further ado, let's take a look at Storm Pyramid X. This is not the Storm you know. Ooh. She has been indoctrined into Pyramid X by her god Apocalypse. Storm is able to channel her weather-bending abilities through her ornate wand, Hesit's Ruin, to raise entire cities and subjugate those who do not submit to Ensabaner. The two most important elements of Storm Pyramid X's kit are Prowess and Tempest. Tempests are selected in a pre-fight screen and provide her with immunities, passive abilities, and special attack bonuses. Prowess effects empower the abilities provided by Tempest. When playing as Storm, players should focus on building as many Prowess effects as possible before unleashing devastating special attacks. So if she's got Prowess, she's going to be really good for that 6.4 lane where you need Prowess. We're going to get into it here in a minute, but she's kind of built like Emma when it comes to generating the prowess and things like that. So she's got decent prestige, right? She's 10-6, 10-6-20, so it's not bad. Of course, she is a mutant. Her basic abilities are Ice Tempest, Lightning Tempest, and Prowess. So let's take a look at her strengths. Glancing. Oh boy, we got another glancing champ here, guys. While Storm's Tempest is active, she is one of the strongest glancing abilities in the game, with a 60% chance to cause all incoming basic attacks to glance. Glancing hits cannot be critical, have 50% reduced damage, and prevent the opponent's offensive ability accuracy by minus 100%. So is she Ant-Man on steroids? That's what I'm wondering. And with glancing, is this gonna make her a pain in the ass defender? I really hope not, but most likely. All right, while Storm's Lightning Tempest is active, she has access to a small stun the opponent on hit. The stun provides windows for Storm to either reset her combo, to gain more power, or to charge her heavy attack for a powerful prowess effect. If fighting an opponent who purifies the stun debuff, Storm will apply a passive stun instead. So this is great. She has some interesting mechanics here when it comes to champs that are purifying things. So and we know a lot of skills do purify debuffs, right? Killmonger, you've got Night Thrasher. So and of course, with the mutant having class advantage, I do really like this concept, and we'll get into this here in a minute. So energy damage, all of Storm's attacks are energy damage. If fighting opponents with lots of physical resistance, Storm will cut through them quickly. Again, I love champs that do energy damage because there's just so many champs that she can get around. So boom. Weaknesses, Power Lock and Power Drain. If Storm is affected by Power Lock or Power Drain, her Tempests are removed and she can no longer gain Prowess. When fighting against Storm as a defender, removing her Tempests are the key to defeating her. So this is kind of works out too, because a lot of the techs, which are class advantage, obviously have Power Drain mechanics, right? You've got Warlock, you've got the Visions, and then of course you've got Magic, and this is kind of interesting too. So Sorcerer Supreme also has some power control and nullifying effects. So I'm wondering, did they release the perfect counter to Storm with Sorcerer Supreme? All right, Nullify. Storm gains prowess buffs whenever either champion gains a bar of power. If she has 6 prowess active when launching a special attack, she becomes unblockable. While Nullify won't remove the Tempest, they will at least slow her down and prevent her from going unblockable. So again, you're going to want a power control champ or a nullifying champ, and a lot of the Mystics do that. They both nullify and power control. So, and again, did they release the perfect counter to Storm with Sorcerer Supreme? Kudos, Kabam. I see what you did there. I see what you did there. Low health. Storm has a lower health pool than most champions to compensate for her powerful glancing mechanic. If her tempests are removed, she should go down pretty quickly. So again, you're going to want to nullify her. Of course, with the glancing, she's going to be kind of more like a glass cannon. It seems like both her and Sorcerer Supreme are kind of glass cannons, but we'll get into all of Storm stuff here. So let's take a look at her passive abilities. Storm's basic attacks deal energy damage instead of physical. Those are always great for those pesky spiked armor nodes, thorns, you know, you name it, Korgs. Oh god, Korgs. Storm has 1400 energy resistance. If the opponent purifies a stun debuff, it is replaced with a passive stun lasting 2 seconds. So no more shrugging off your parries. Okay, so let's take a look at her pre-fight ability. So we've got another champion here with pre-fight abilities, and when pre-fight abilities were first introduced into the game, I had made a video about it, kind of like, you know, why weren't these introduced sooner? What are they going to be like? That sort of thing, because they were first introduced with Human Torch, and we're starting to see more champs with pre-fight abilities. So we've got Human Torch, we've got Guillotine 2099, we've got Stealth Sue Spidey, and now we've got Storm, Pyramid X, and we also have Sorcerer Supreme with these pre-fight abilities. And I gotta say, I'm a huge fan of the pre-fight abilities because it's kind of like a choose your own champ mechanic, what you want them to do. So you can basically customize it for how you need it based on what fight you're going to be going into. So I absolutely love this pre-fight ability. Kudos, kabam, huge, huge fan. All right, so let's take a look at these pre-fight abilities. Tempests. By default, Ice Tempest is selected. If selecting a different Tempest in the pre-fight screen, it becomes the new default. Default Tempest can be switched once per fight. When power locked or power drained, Tempests are removed for 8 seconds. So in order to get rid of the Tempest, when you're fighting her, you're going to want to power lock or power drain her. Activation of Tempest is unaffected by ability accuracy. Ice Tempest. Gain immunity to Cold Snap and Frostbite, and incoming basic attacks have a 60% chance to glance. Glancing hits cannot be critical, deal 50% reduced damage, and suffer minus 100% offensive ability accuracy. So gonna be great against Iceman, Vision Arcus, he'll put that Cold Snap on you, so this is really good. Lightning Tempest, decrease the potency of incoming shock effects by 100%, and each active prowess adds 2% chance to stun the opponent on hit for 0.9 seconds, max 16%. So the Lightning Tempest is gonna be really good for that node. I can't remember what it's called in Act 6, where you get a shock debuff put on you. So let's take a look at when knocked down. When knocked down, if not already active, Storm activates her alternate Tempest for 12 seconds. Duration is paused during heavy attacks and special attacks. So you're not going to want to knock Storm down if it's kind of like how you don't want to knock Darkhawk down, right? It's kind of like the same thing. So let's take a look at our prowess. When either champion fills a bar of power, each Tempest generates 1 prowess, increasing the next special attack's damage by 40%. The first 3 prowess buffs last indefinitely, and additional prowess buffs last 10 seconds, max 12. So this is kind of like Emma, right? Emma, when in diamond form, she can stack up to 5. They're permanent until she goes into telepath form. Once she's in telepath form, they begin to expire, but she can stack up to 10. So this is kind of similar to Emma's mechanic when it comes to prowess. If Storm has 6 prowess effects active during a special attack, gain a passive unblockable for 1.8 seconds. Now, something to watch out for here is if at any point during a special attack Storm hits 6 prowess, she will become unblockable. If Storm is sitting on 5 prowess, then pushes her opponent over a bar of power during a special attack, she will gain her 6th prowess and become unblockable midway through special attack. Storm Special 1 utilizes this mechanic. So you're gonna want to need to pay attention, again, like Emma, to your power bar and your opponent's power bar when you're facing her, because you don't want to push her to become unblockable, because you could be trying to block a special and she hits that 6 prowess and boom, that special attack is unblockable midway through. So it's going to be something you're going to need to watch out for. All right, so let's take a look at heavy attacks. Charging a heavy attack creates a dormant prowess which charges from 0 to 100%. Launching a special attack while charging a heavy attack converts this dormant prowess into a passive prowess, increasing the special attack's damage by up to 100% based on how long the heavy attack was charged. This is similar to Cap Infinity War and Colossus, but not quite. And here is why. Because you're not really... So the developer's note says, while you're charging a heavy attack, there will be a gray prowess icon on screen without releasing your finger from the screen. Tap the special attack button to launch a special and convert the gray prowess icon into an actual prowess. So you're going to be charging, your other thumb's going to be here, and then once it goes to there will be, so once it goes to how long you want to do it, I guess, for, you'll just keep charging and then push the special. So it's not going to be quite like Cap Infinity War Colossus where you automatically, you know, release the heavy and then push the special. You're still going to be charging and then push the special. Okay, so let's look at the special attacks. Speaking of, Special 1, Cloudy with a Chance of Pain. Ooh, I kind of like these names. Storm calls forth a hailstorm of ice directed entirely on her unfortunate opponent. Inflict a passive slow for the duration of this special attack, preventing the effects of Unstoppable and lowering evade ability accuracy by 100%. Opponents with a natural class advantage cannot be slowed. Ice Tempest. Each hit that contacts the opponent generates 1 prowess buff, increasing special attack damage by 10%. For the remainder of this special attack, additionally, the final hit inflicts a passive Cold Snap, dealing X energy damage over 14 seconds. So we have yet another champion that inflicts slow. So we've got Science, Mystic with Sorcerer Supreme, she inflicts a slow, and now Mutant that inflicts a slow debuff. So we have essentially, oh, and Cellsuit Spidey does it as well. So we now have all classes covered in preventing Unstoppable and evades and inflicting a slow debuff. So if you have any one of these champions and you need to inflict a slow debuff, you should be good to go. All right, while the Ice Tempest is active, Storm can apply a passive Cold Snap. Champions who purify debuffs or have immunity to debuffs will be affected by Cold Snap. Cold Snap also prevents the activation of evade. So again, she's gonna be great for some of those pesky evaders. Special 2, when toads meet lightning. I love this little Easter egg. I love this to the X-Men movie. Ever wonder what happens when lightning hits a toad? Same thing as everything else. Storm channels a conduit of electrical force before discharging a rapid burst of lightning, obliterating everything in its path. Each hit inflicts a shock debuff, dealing X damage over 9 seconds. If the opponent purifies any of these shock debuffs, deal a burst of X instant shock damage instead. Lightning Tempest. Shock damage is increased by up to 90% based on the opponent's current power. Additionally, each prowess reduces the opponent's defensive power rate by 25% up to a max of 100. So this is very similar to OG Storm, right? The more power the opponent has when you launch your special 2, the more damage that you're going to do. So, and the developers note even too, while Lightning Tempest is active, the special attack can be launched safely regardless of how much power the opponent has. If playing aggressively, Storm Pyramid X can launch this attack while the opponent is near 3 bars of power to almost double the damage. Now, I'm almost wondering if this has a type of Corvus mechanic where, you know, if you launch your special 2 and it pushes them to a special 3, it'll drain a little bit of their power. They won't hit that special 3. So I'm wondering if this has some sort of a similar mechanic or if it's just going to do that much damage. I don't know, but I want to find out. All right, special attack 3. Accelerated climate change. Storm demonstrates her absolute control over the elements by conjuring a devastating localized storm. Witness the true power of an Omega level mutant. I can't wait. If both Tempests are already active, Storm increases her attack rating by X during this special attack. After the special attack ends, Storm activates her alternate Tempest for 35 seconds. This duration is paused while charging heavy attacks and launching special attacks. By launching a special 3, Storm gains both Tempests. Each Tempest provides 1 prowess whenever either champion gains bar of power. If players can keep both Tempests up through an entire fight, Storm's potential potential special attack damage is doubled. So yeah, she's gonna be nasty. All right, let's take a look at her signature ability. While below 30% of her maximum health, Storm activates both Tempests. When fighting against Storm, be prepared for the final 30% of her remaining health. She's going to be gaining more prowess, more unblockable, and have a chance to stun on hit. I really do recommend bringing a champion with power lock or power drain. Otherwise, it's going to be a tough fight. So it seems like to get the most out of Storm, you're gonna want her awakened. And especially if you're gonna, she seems like she's built for defense, right? She might be kind of squishy, but with that glancing and everything, she seems like she's gonna be built for defense. And if you're gonna have her on defense, you're gonna want to have her awakened just for this. So let's take a look at her synergies because she's got some really cool synergies, and the way I read some of these, especially one, which we'll get into, this champ got a huge buff with this synergy, and I cannot wait to test it out. All right. So with Sorceress Supreme, the opponent nullify effects suffer minus 50% ability accuracy. So that's good. So that's basically like a mystic ward, so to speak, right? It's a 50% mystic ward. And then with Bishop, now this, okay, so with when she's paired with Bishop, Prowess buffs last 4 seconds longer on her. With Bishop, every 15 seconds, generate a power gain buff granting 20% of a bar of power over 5 seconds. While this power gain buff is active, each prowess increases special attack damage by an additional 3%. So, you've got this, you've got Bishop's charges, and you launch a special too. It's gonna be nasty, but there's one more synergy with Bishop that gives him a nice buff as well, and I really can't wait to play around with this, but we'll get into that in a minute. So let's take a look at this one she has with Storm. Storm Pyramid X alternate Tempest activated by Storm special 3 lasts 8 seconds longer. So that's a really good synergy. And with Storm, gain up to 100% shock, cold snap, and incinerate resistance based on stored power. While suffering from a shock, cold snap, or incinerate debuff, Storm's special attack damage is increased by 30%. So if you have one of those on you, if you're playing as Storm, not Storm Pyramid X, as Storm, you've got one of those debuffs on you, your opponent has a good bit of power, and you have your special 2, it's going to be a nasty special 2. All right, Kingdom of Wakanda with Black Panther Civil War, and Killmonger. Bleed debuffs inflicted on the opponent last 30% longer, so that's going to be really good for Killmonger if you can get his bleed stacked up and launch your special 3. Then you've got Spider Guild with Spider-Man, Spider-Gwen, and Miles. Evade ability accuracy is increased by 30%, and after activating Evade, inflict stun for 2 seconds. Both of these effects enter cooldown for 12 seconds after the stun is activated. This could be really useful for Spider-Gwen. Spider-Gwen is a great champ ever since they gave her that buff, so I'm kind of excited to test that out. And then this mutant agenda here with Bishop, Wolverine, and Colossus. Mutant landed strikes during special attacks gain plus 12% attack rating. So you've got the mutant agenda synergy, and then you've got setup and spike with Bishop, and that could lead to some really nasty Bishop play. And I gotta say, I'm a fan of it. They definitely seem to have buffed Bishop through this synergy. But anyways, guys, that's all that I got for this first look at Storm Pyramid X. But what do you guys think? Do you think she is going to be a giant pain in the butt defender? What do you think of her pre-fight mechanics and abilities? Do you like her Tempests? Do you think she's going to be kind of hard to switch to play? Excuse me. And what do you think about her synergy with Bishop? Let me know in the comments below and let's discuss. As always, guys, thanks so much for watching. If you guys liked what you saw and you want to see more, please remember to like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter and hit me up in the Discord chat.